Hey, and welcome to Useless But Fun Projects. That's why I call this episode one. Could be the last episode, depends on what I have in my free time, what I come up with my brain. But basically, this is just like a collection of stuff that I do on the sites just for fun. Totally useless, but quite fun, at least for me. So if you find it fun, then that's great for you. If not, then this video will waste your time. But too bad. Anyway, today's episode, we're going to be looking at how to win $1 million in a love/dating reality TV show. Yeah, okay, so technically it's not $1 million, it's $1 million split by 20 contestants. So that's like 50K each. But still, it's about winning money. It's about using code and logic, which was what was interesting for me. Yes, but don't get your hopes up. I'm not sure if the show is still running or like whether you can even use this, whether it's legal, yeah, to use this kind of things during the show. But anyway, just a bit of backstory on how I got how I even started watching this kind of TV shows, because it's not actually something that I watch. Okay, but the thing is that my work requires me to think a lot. Yeah, so that's in the day. So usually once I'm done with that, a good way to unwind is actually to watch a show that sort of lowers my IQ, it gives you a bit of brain damage and stuff like that. Okay, so someone introduced me to Love Island. Watched it, great for its purposes, because it's so trashy. It's like dumpster grade trash. Okay. Then after that, I watched Love is Blind. Actually, that one's pretty okay. It's a bit slow going, a bit cheesy, maybe something more like your kitchen bin sort of like trash level. And of course, Singles Inferno, actually that was quite nice. That's a very recent one. Yeah, it was actually very good, I would say. It's hardly any trash. It's probably like your waste paper basket kind of thing in your room. So quite clean. It's actually quite good. Yeah. So anyway, one of those, I think a couple of months ago, came across this show called Are You the One? So again, it's under that same category because Netflix recommends things like that. Yeah. And it was quite interesting. I started watching it, first episode, realized that, okay, it's just like another game show thing, a bit like Love Island. But after a few episodes, I realized that the trash level there is really high. It's like sewer grade. It's so bad. Yeah. But there was something about the show actually that was quite interesting. And that is its game mechanics. So I think Love Island, you can win a cash prize. Yeah, you can win a cash prize. I think 100K, but that's only one couple. For this show, actually, if you can successfully match up, like you pair up, right, then all the contestants will actually win $1 million together, not $1 million each, of course, that would cost too much. Yeah. So there's some game mechanics there. But let me just give you a bit more details on that, yeah, because it's important how to understand that first. Yes, okay. So game mechanics starts out 10 guys and 10 girls put inside some kind of villa. So it sounds a bit like Love Island, yeah, but there's no addition or subtraction of people. So there are 10 guys, 10 girls. Before going to the villa, they actually have filled up some sort of I don't know, some kind of psychometric or personality test or whatever. But basically, there's going to be a matching algorithm or dating algorithm, whatever. So they have already determined this guy is paired with this girl. This is like the best match, right? They're supposed to find each other among the rest. Yeah. So 10 guys, 10 girls. Actually, they all have a perfect match, but they don't know who their perfect match is, and their job is to go and find out who that one is and to couple up with that person, right? So ideally, the game show is what's the thing? The draw of it is that, okay, you can both find love and win money in this game show, supposedly. So yeah, they're supposed to go and find their perfect matches. Okay, they have 10 rounds to do that. And if they can find their perfect matches within 10 rounds, then all of them get to win the prize. Okay. And all of them need to find their perfect matches. So they need to be perfectly matched up, each of them to their perfect matches for all of them to win. If one of them screws up, in fact, not just one couple will screw up, in fact, at least two will screw up, then of course, there's no money to be won at all. You win $0 million. Yeah, and of course some bad memories to take home with. Yeah. So there are 10 rounds, and within each round, they will get a chance to pick the partner, and that's how they form their couples. And there are 10 rounds, and they're supposed to complete that. Within 10 rounds, they're supposed to find like their perfect matches. Okay. So each round, there are two important things that happen. The first round, no, not first round, the first thing that happens is called the truth booth, which means that you get to send a couple to this place, okay, and then they will tell you, the game host or whatever will tell everyone whether this couple is a perfect match or not. Okay, so that's a surefire way to tell if like, okay, you think that these two are like confirmed correct one. You certainly just send them there, and then the true book will tell you whether they are indeed a perfect match or not. Then you get to eliminate one sort of like a possibility. Yeah. So that's the truth booth. After the truth booth, there is something called the matching ceremony. So that's when you actually get the couples to pair up. Yeah. So what happens is, let's say if it's the girls' turn to choose, all the 10 girls is just gonna start, and then the first one is going to pick like, okay, I think this guy is my perfect match. Okay, so they'll couple up, and then the second girl will pick, okay, I think it's that guy, and blah blah blah, all the way to the last girl. Obviously, the last girl has no choice because there's only one guy left. Yeah. So after they're all matched up during the matching ceremony, the host will then tell them how many within that 10 are actually correct. Yeah. So they'll tell you, okay, within your 10 pairs, there are 2 perfect matches, but you won't know who those perfect matches are. Yeah. So that's their job to go and figure out, yeah, who those perfect matches are. So this happens for 10 times basically. And by the 10th round, if you can like match up correctly, then you will get that 1 million cash prize and split across them. Yeah, of course, the bad memories are also part of the deal, so too bad. Hopefully the matching algorithm is correct. So actually it's quite difficult because you realize one thing during the matching ceremony. If the first person picks the wrong match, right? Let's say guy 1 picks guy 2's girl, right? Then guy 2 can no longer have a correct match anymore. So that's why just now I said it's not possible to just have one wrong pairing. There must be at least 2 wrong pairings. So guy 2 cannot pick guy 2's perfect match. He has to pick someone else. If he doesn't pick guy 1's wrong match as a wrong one, and he pick guy 3's girl, then guy 3 can no longer pick a correct match. Yeah, and so the problem compounds basically, and it becomes really difficult to have all 10 couples matched up correctly. Yeah, and if you think about it, right, it really sounds quite impossible to arrive at this combination by chance. Yeah, and because you need absolutely everyone to be correct, which is not easy. Yeah. Okay, so that's the game mechanics part. So obviously the fun part was that I mean, in my mind, I was just thinking like, actually, what are the chances of them like winning at all, right? I mean, like $1 million. Actually, I mean, you split it, 50K doesn't sound like a lot, but it really sounds quite impossible to get everything correct, right? So that's number one. Like, what are the chances of them winning? Number two is there a way to maximize the chances of them winning? Like, is there a way to pick the pairings in like a certain way, or like some sort of strategy and stuff like that, lah? Yeah. So first, let's get down to the numbers. What are the chances of them winning? Okay, so there are 10 couples. So there are, and by the way, any like mathematicians or statisticians can correct my numbers here. I did my best to I think correctly get these things. Yeah. But anyway, so there are 10 couples. So there are 100 unique pairings, like combinations, like guy 1 with girl 1, guy 1 with girl 2, and stuff like that. So there are 100 unique pairs, possibilities. And each pair has a 10% chance of being correct. Like, say, of course, guy 1 is supposed to be matched with girl 1, but he also has he matches up with like girl 2 and stuff like that. Is wrong lah. So only 1 out of 10 is correct, right? So that's one thing. So 100 unique pairs doesn't sound like a lot, but once you start to put together this whole the interactions during the matching ceremony, the one that talked about how if guy one chooses the wrong one, then the one that he chose, that girl that he chose, can no longer be perfectly matched with another guy. Yeah. So because of all these combinations, right, there's actually a lot of possibilities. I call them combinations because basically there are 10 pairs that are matched up. So this whole 10 pairs is considered as one combination. So I worked out the numbers. Turns out to be there are 3.6 million different combinations. So 3.6 million combinations that are possible. Okay, so by right, if you go by elimination, you will need to have that ceremony 3.6 million times before you are guaranteed a win. Yeah. So work that out. The expected winning of the show, right, which is 1 million, then divided by the probability of 3.6 million, is just 27 cents. 27 cents for the whole group. Okay, then you split that among 20 people, that's like, I don't know, 1 cent plus per person. Okay, so that's your expected winnings, because the chances of getting that correct combination is just so low. Okay, but anyway, of course, this is like naive, meaning that how do I put it? It's like you don't have any like outside information. So of course during the show, because allegedly, supposedly you're supposed to kind of know who your perfect match is, because you might think that, okay, this person has like the same characteristics as me, thinks the same way as me, through your conversation and stuff like that. Maybe you have a higher chance of getting that correct person. Yeah, but I'm just looking at this from a purely like math like perspective, like no information, right? And basically just assume that the participants are just like stupid and naive, which is kind of what happens in the show anyway lah. And so they mess up like all their pairings and I don't know, they do stupid things. So the model relies on like basically just having no information. Okay. Anyway, it's impossible to model out like the additional subjective information that the participants like sort of bake into their decisions. So let's just ignore that. Yeah. So back to the model. I tried various ways to get like a mathematical / like statistical, like a closed form, like a solution for like what are the probabilities at each round. But I found it to be too difficult for me. And it doesn't look like it was going to be neat or possible, but of course, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, maybe it could be possible, but maybe it's not neat, but I don't know. Anyway, I figured that it's going to take me too much time. And after all, this is a side project. It's supposed to be fun, right? So why would I want to put myself through all that? Yeah. So turns out that actually what I sort of chanced upon was that it's actually easier to just do it by pure elimination, right? So I have code. I can just do it by pure elimination. So what I did with this code is basically just to add for each season, okay, like season 1, let's say they are just generate all the possibilities. So all the 3.6 million combinations. Of course, that's very easy to do in code. You won't be able to do it in person. And then for each round progresses, right, there's new information coming in. Like for example, this couple is like not a match, or this couple is a match, and stuff like that. And the ceremony tell you, okay, there are 2 correct pairs within there. So as this information come in, what I do is that I just plug that into my code, and I ask my code to sort out, okay, now how many remaining combinations are there, and which of these combinations are remaining. Yeah, basically. Okay, so as you start to eliminate, right, actually you might think that, okay, this is impossible, 3.6 million, and they give you so little information. Okay, every time you just throw in one true proof, there's only one couple, and the matching ceremony, they don't even tell you which one is the correct pair, right? For obvious reasons, not it'd be too easy. Yeah, so you only get very limited information. So you might think that it's actually quite stupid to do this elimination method. But actually, right, trust me, it works. Yeah, if not, there won't be this video. Okay. So this elimination method works. And before I even get to it, just some interesting things that I found in the process. Number one, the face value, right, of like the ceremony matchings. Like for example, the host tells that there are 2 correct pairs. within the 10 that you match up with, right? Actually, at face value, it sounds like it sucks because like I don't even know who these two pairs are. It could then of course they pair up differently, slightly differently lah. Actually, most of the time quite differently from the previous matching ceremony because they want to. Actually, I don't know why, but when they pair up differently, right? And then the host tell you, oh, there's two correct, and you don't know whether it's like because some of them there'll be some overlap. You don't know whether it's that one which we overlap or new one or stuff like that. So basically, it's a moving target, very blurry. You don't know. So you might think that the ceremony is actually quite useless and that the truth booth is actually quite good because the truth booth actually tells you definitively whether a couple is a perfect match or not. Yeah, but turns out actually the ceremony is the one that is like about 5 times better in improving the odds. Not 5 times, a lot more better, a lot better in improving the odds than the truth booth. Yeah. So when we get the numbers, we'll see that. But actually, the ceremony is really important in reducing the number of combinations. Yeah. So it's a bit unintuitive because I think as a normal person, it's the numbers are just too big for us to grasp, right? So we just think that this ceremony is like it's too difficult for me to think. I'm just gonna go with the truth booth, yeah, and then let's see how it goes, yeah. But the fact is that the ceremony gives you the most information, yeah. So on average, the ceremony reduces your number of combinations by about 70%, and the truth booth only does it by about like 10%, 10 to 15%. Yeah, so that's the sort of difference it makes. Okay, now we're going to look at season 1's example. Okay, so I watched season 1 that was in last year, which is no longer available anymore because I think Netflix like stopped it. So now I think there's only season 4 on Netflix, which I'm going to watch later when I have time. Later as in later in the year. But anyway, we're going to look at season 1's example. Spoiler alert. So yes, the pairs and their answers, whether they're perfect match or not, will be reviewed. So if you do intend to watch it for some reason, I also don't know how, then I don't think you want to watch the later part of this video, or you can watch it alongside as it progresses, or you don't care, that's fine. Okay, so I'm just giving you some numbers to illustrate. In season 1, in the very first round, okay, the first pair, someone they thought they got along very well and stuff like that. So they send this pair. Chris is the guy, Shanley is the girl. So they sent both of them to the truth booth, okay, because they thought that they were a good match. Turns out they were not a match, okay, and this reduced the possibilities from 3.6 million to 3.2 million. So 3.2 million combinations left. Okay, so that's a 10%, actually 11% improvement in your odds. Okay, in the ceremony, they sent out some the 10 pairs. Obviously, they didn't pair Chris with Shanley because Chris and Shanley were already shown not to be a match. Okay, so they paired Chris with Jessica and blah blah blah. They had 2 correct pairs in the ceremony. So you might think that 2 is like hardly anything. It's like, what am I going to do? It's like, I don't know anything. I only know 1 pair is not correct. And I know that I have 2 correct pairs among the matchups that we have. Okay. But just by the host telling you that there's 2 correct pairs, your probabilities actually increase by about 437%. Right? 3.6 million now reduced to only 600,000 possibilities remaining, okay, which is fantastic actually. So what I did was that I went down and I just followed episodes and just continued to input what the contestants chose. Okay, so in round 2 they were exceedingly lucky, okay, because they managed during the matching ceremony, they managed to get 4 correct pairs, okay, and which is actually very low chance of that happening. Okay, this one kind of shows you like what are the probabilities of getting a certain number of correct pairs. Yeah, so getting 4 correct pairs is about only 1% chance of that happening. Yeah. On the other hand, actually, it's actually quite good. You can look at this way. It's actually, you're actually more likely to have a correct pair within a ceremony than not, because see, to have zero correct pairs is only 36% chance. So like 63% of the time you're gonna get something, you're gonna get some information. And from that information, you can just throw it into this model, and you'll just reduce the possibilities, the possible combinations, and increase your probability of getting the right one. So again, spoiler alert, I'm just going to show you how the rounds go. Okay, and this is basically a heat map of all the possible pairings left. So obviously at the start up, every pair has like a 10% chance, okay, and of being correct, okay. And after round one, we have Chris and Shanley that has been confirmed not a perfect match. So you notice that the probabilities shift, right? You can see like it changes. At the end of the day, it all adds up, okay. So if you eliminate one, you sort of shift the probabilities elsewhere. At round two, you start to see like certain hotspots. Like some couples are actually more probable than others. And how you find out these probabilities is basically within the list of your combinations remaining. Let's say there are 600,000 combinations remaining. You just count how many within these combinations, how many of this particular couple is seen. Okay. So it's just a numbers game. So for example, if you look at the top row, Ethan and Amber, basically they are seen within the remaining possible combinations. They are seen the most number of times compared to the rest. Also, there's Jessica and Dylan and Paige and Chris and stuff like that. So basically, these are the higher probability pairings. So in round two, Jessica and Ethan was sent to the truth booth, and they were not a match. So that's why you see another hole over there. Round three, yet another hole. Probabilities get updated. Not too interesting. Round four, this gets a bit interesting because what you start to see is that certain probabilities are already being eliminated. Like within the possible combinations remaining, there doesn't exist, right, a pair that has Ethan and Colesia or Dre and Colesia. So you see Dylan and Colesia has an 82% chance of, basically it's seen in like in most of the possible combinations remaining. Whereas some are just simply no longer possible anymore. So this is actually a very useful information, okay, because what they can do after round four is how they pick their pairings and their matchups in round five, right? So in round five, they were given two truth booth chances because the host thought they were doing really badly, and I think a lot of them were discouraged. Maybe it's just the first season, so it's kind of sad if you don't get it, right? So you kind of want them to win. I mean, if not, maybe people won't sign up for the next season. I don't know, but anyway, so the host gave them two truth booth attempts. Okay, so the first one, they sent in this false, and then the second one, they sent in Dillian and Colesia, which remember we saw had a 2% chance of being correct. Okay, and indeed it was correct. They are a perfect match. Okay, so with that in mind, they did the ceremony. Obviously, they paired Dillian and Colesia. They had 5 correct pairs, and this 5 correct pairs is actually really, really good, because you notice that with 5 correct pairs, you reduce your number of combinations from 78 to just 24. So 24 combinations remaining really means that it's really within grasp, right? And this is round 5, so it's like halfway through. It's really almost there already. But of course, I think at that point of time, the contestants didn't feel that way. They felt that they're kind of like halfway there, but you realize there's only 24 combinations left out of the 3.6 million that we started with. So is this elimination thing is actually quite powerful. It's just that people don't really can't really sort of like grasp how powerful it is. So after round 5, right, we just take a look at the grid. You look at how empty it starts to become and how like the hot spot starts to show. For example, let's look at Ethan and Amber with a 79% chance of being the correct couple, right? That one has something. That one is something to keep watch of. Yeah. In round 6, they send someone else to the truth booth, which is Chris and Paige, right? Turns out to be true, reducing their possible combinations to just 11. In the ceremony, they had 5 correct pairs again, okay, slightly different pairings, and you realize there are only 3 possible combinations left, okay? 3 possible combinations just mean one thing. They are guaranteed to win this if they don't screw up. Screw up meaning that they don't go and pick some other impossible combinations, because all they need is round 7, 8, 9. That's it. They win. There's only 3 possible combinations left. Even if you don't do any more elimination, there's only 3 left, okay? And you can look at a heat map to kind of know what those 3 are, right? So we have some confirmed perfect matches. Look at Ethan and Amber. It's now 100%, but Ethan and Amber have not been sent to the truth booth yet. This 100% is purely by elimination. There exists no other combination, right, that Ethan is paired with anyone else. So you don't even need to send them to the truth booth. You know for sure that they are a perfect match. Yeah. And everyone else is like, it's either 33% or 67%. So of course, just go for the 67% lah. Yeah. So what do you do in round 7 after this information? Okay, obviously the contestants didn't have this information because they were too busy partying. I don't know what they're doing, doing stupid things, rather than focusing on eliminating the possibilities. If we had just like, I don't know, banded together 20 people, right? Say, okay, let's write down all 3.6 million combinations and start to eliminate. Maybe they would have gotten somewhere. I don't know. But of course, there'll be no fun, right? But anyway, this is after round 6. What did they do in round 7? They sent Ryan and Kayla to the truth booth. Why? Because they didn't know. Obviously, Ryan and Kayla is not a perfect match, right? You can see in the grid for after round 6, it is impossible for Ryan to be matched with Kayla. Ryan can only be matched with either JC or Jessica. Kayla is not an option at all. Yeah, but of course they didn't know that, so it was wasted. Fine. Okay. Notice they sent this combination to the ceremony. They had 7 correct pairs. How many possibilities remain? Just 1. They have the answer right there already. Okay. So again, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what's the correct answer, then you should stop here, because this ceremony, this combination over here is what they sent to the ceremony, which is not the correct answer, but is, yeah, whatever. The correct answer will be shown next, because it's the heat map basically reduced to just 100%. Yeah. So at this point of time, right, 7 correct pairs, they had the answer already, and this is the answer. Yeah, there exists no other possibility. Yeah, by round 7. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, so if actually someone did the elimination, they would have known with certainty after round 7 that that they had it in the bag lah. So so just to, I actually didn't watch the entire of the season. I think I kind of stopped at around yeah, I stopped at round 7. I didn't even watch them. Like after this, because I already knew the answer based on this, right? Instead, I went to just look up the Wikipedia and just confirm whether my answers were correct, and they are. If not, you won't be seeing this video. Basically, but what happened, right? Without watching, apparently on Wikipedia, is that they didn't get the correct answer in round 8, right? So round 8, they got 8 pairings correct. Okay, so they were very happy because they thought they were very close, but actually they already had the answer. And then they finally got to the answer in round 9. So yes, they eventually won. Okay, but this code managed to get it at round 8. They got it at round 9. So it shows that logic was superior to their gut or their heart feel. Yeah. This logic is basically, you don't even know anything about these people, right? You don't know like what's their personality, you don't know like who is more likely to be matched with who and stuff like that. But this is just pure like naive going through the numbers versus the contestants who are following their heart feel and probably not thinking about the numbers at all. Yeah. So yeah, logic actually just got you ahead just by a bit, but of course eventually they won, so who cares? And of course they had more fun. I don't know whether I had more fun doing this. I don't think I'll have fun if I'm in that situation anyway. So I guess that's a win-win. So yes, that's all for this episode. I think the next what I'm going to do is that this season 4 out on Netflix. So yeah, when I have the time, I'm just going to run this model through it, and then we'll see how it goes. The follow-up to this actually is that so now that we know that elimination works, right? The follow-up would be like, how often does it work? Meaning that how often can this elimination method actually get us to that $1 million within 10 rounds? Yeah. And the second question is, what sort of strategy should we pursue? For example, should we send the most likely pair to the truth booth, or should we find some other way? For example, should we send the pair that eliminates the most of the other pairs, increases the probability the most when the answer comes out? Yeah, stuff like that. So there are many ways to think about it. I have already started work on that, and I already have some simulations. Simulations take some time actually, because it's lots of logic, and typically you run like about thousands of simulations. So basically you're running like thousands of games, and within each game you try like different strategy. Yeah, so obviously it's going to take some time. But I think the main amount of time that's going to be taken is me watching season 4. Yeah, and obviously I don't have this kind of time to do this kind of thing. I actually did this last year, like in December or something, but obviously didn't have time to like present everything nicely. But yes, that's what we have for today. So I hope you don't feel like you wasted your time watching this. If you did, then maybe you can go and watch the actual show itself, and then maybe you'll feel better about this. Yeah, because like maybe the actual show sucks. Yeah. Okay. Till next time. Bye bye.